Can you explain again, saying that you can't sell
my meat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do on-farm slaughter with a custom butcher. I choose to do that because we are animal welfare and the most humane way to kill an animal is on the farm. Also, my second goal of producing meat is nutrient dense. It also is the most nutrient dense food because there's no stress hormone, so it's the healthiest meat for me. So that was a value that I'm not willing to shift. It's also why I'm small scale. If I go larger, I would have to change that. So the custom butcher is not USDA because it's here. Then it goes to their meat packing plant or to his butcher shop. It hangs and they package it for us. So because it doesn't go through a USDA slaughter facility and it's not labeled by USDA, I'm not allowed to sell it in a retail form. I sell shares, so like a CSA model, like a vegetable box. You pay the farmer up front for your year's worth of vegetables. They produce their vegetables for you. It's a great cash flow for a farmer. It gives you working capital in the beginning of the year. For me, I did not want to have a freezer full of $30,000 worth of meat and sell it one steak at a time. So it's not even, retail wasn't a huge deal for me. But now that I have a farm store, it's a little bit of a big deal, or I have people staying and I can't do it. So I sell these shares. So the way, the loophole is that I put up my meat shares in February of every year, and if you want 25 pounds of meat from me, beef, pork, or chicken, you tell me that's what you want and you pay for it. So I have the working capital. The beef are already here. I buy that many piglets to fill those orders. I buy that many chickens to fill those orders. Because the money was transacted while the animal was still alive, basically that money is paying me to take care of someone else's animal. So all my pigs are paid for. There's 4 owners per pig. Is the easiest way to understand that. And if that works, that's fine. But what I realized is that now I can't put any of that meat in my farm store legally. It all says not for sale, not do not sell. It says not for sale. That's what the government says. I always say, I'm telling you it's different because that's the exact same meat that someone just paid $300 for. They just paid me at a different time. Nothing changed as far as food safety goes in any of that. And that's bullshit to me. And I wasn't willing to not say that. And I will still, if Ag and Markets comes in and says something to me, I'll still call it bullshit.
Because you can also have people over and just have that meat with them, right?
Absolutely.
That's just
it's the meat I eat every day.
Yeah, and even the crazier thing is every single day there's a new recall of meat because they're just importing it and they're just mixing it all. And it's from everywhere. It doesn't matter.
It's huge, and that's why I tell people, I'm like, so if you want a meat inspector, if that makes you feel like you have safe meat, I'm here. I'm here for the kill of every one of my animals. They're my animals. You think if someone does something wrong, or there's something not going well with the slaughter of my animals, that I'm not going to freak out in the sense of I'm not going to take care of that? Way more than some government worker that watches thousands of animals die a day. Those are my animals. Those guys, when they show up, they are here and they're professional and they know it. I don't know what they're like on another farm, but they know what they're here to deal with, and they're here to deal with me. And I make sure it's the hardest day of being on this farm. I won't not witness, because that's my duty to them. I'm here, I've given them this life, and I'm gonna make sure that that part goes well too. And it doesn't mean it's perfect. They're humans and they're guns. It doesn't always go perfect, but there's someone there, and there's someone there to take care of it. I can document when it doesn't go well. I can manage if it doesn't go well. I can not find another butcher if it goes badly, because there isn't another butcher, but luckily that's not the case. I have an incredible butcher, and I'm very grateful for the relationship. And the other thing that I always tell mainly my guests, and I think I'm not following the rules as well, because I want to have the conversation. It's really important. No one knows that.
Yeah.
No one would ever know that if I had legal meat in there. So I want to kind of shake it up and have the conversation. But so then, if someone says, well, but you're not in there inspecting the meat packing part of it. Well, yes, I am. Because, first of all, I go pick up my meat, so I go to a slaughterhouse all the time. And I see the cleanliness. I know what cleanliness is and how to judge that. But when I decided to do my farm stay basket, my breakfast basket, usually my breakfast sausage comes in a 1.25 pound pack. Well, that's way too much for 2 people to eat in the morning. And I needed no leftovers, right? They're just here and they don't have anything to put leftovers. So I called up the butcher, and I always ask for special things, so I felt really bad. But I was like, Greg, I was like, you know what? Is there any way you could make like a half a pound pack for me? Because if you could do that, then I could sell a breakfast basket and my people could taste my sausage. Because it's a 100-year-old recipe from the Wiley family. So I'm like,
that's so awesome.
This would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I really did not anticipate, because he's a busy man doing a lot of stuff for a lot of people. And so I was like ready. I was like, I'll pay more. I'll come in and help. I'll do whatever it takes, Greg, but please say yes. And he was like, he's like, I can probably do that. He's like, why don't you be here on Wednesday at 10? I was like, oh, shit. I have to go pack my own meat. And I realized when I did that, that was the best thing he could have told me to do. Better than paying him more for the extra service. But I went in, so now I got into the meat packing room, worked with his workers, worked with him, and inspected all that. And again, this is meat that I'm eating, first and foremost.
Right.
So it was like, oh, yeah, we got this. And I have such a rapport, if I ever felt the need to inspect, all I'd have to do is say, Greg, I feel like you've got a new hire or something. I don't know. I could ask, and I could do my own self-inspection if I wanted to. And
Are there any other heavy regulatory burdens like that as well?
Probably.
Because also I haven't really talked, I'm just now realizing from any podcast, even from like a local, state, and then federal level.
Yeah. So mostly not in the farm animal stuff, because we're in a county. So it's interesting, we're at the northern end of Rensselaer County. Just up there is the southern end of Washington County. Both of them farm counties, but we have Troy, the city of Troy, in our county. Our health department, so more about food safety and food service, even my farm stay, is more regulated than anything would be in Washington County. Because I don't know. There's a lot of restaurants and a lot of people. I don't really know enough about it. I just know that I've had to jump through some major loopholes. Even talking about the kitchen, like I need a $7,500 water test just to turn from private water to public water. Washington County doesn't have those same requirements, and I'm not. Why? How do I do that? I don't have $7,500 just for the test. When I know they're going to make me get a UV treatment anyways. Like, why can't I just get it UV treated and then test the water or whatever? Or why can't I have those other simple tests? So there are some regulations that way that are tough when it comes to actually serving the food that we have or cooking the food, which I'm not saying that all of them should go away. They're just not easy. There should be a way to navigate it easier and better. Fine if I don't, I've never really thought about what I would want, because I'm not there yet. I just know I can't do it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what I would want, because I don't have that.
Because I also asked too, just thinking of just New York as the state and how New York City and essentially votes for the state now.
Yeah.
And when you think of upstate New York, it's just so beautiful and full of farm and ranch land, but they really have no control of that.
Yeah, and it's very strict. Like raw milk, right? Like there's no chance. Like I wouldn't try to do raw milk in the state to save my life.
See, it's just crazy how just in the Northeast, that's where America started. And so we have rich history, obviously, with being with animals and milk. And now New Jersey has one of the most strict rules, and they have such beautiful farmland. And then I'm here too, and it's And then Pennsylvania, they're going after the Amos Miller and all of the Amish.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't. So, specific rule or law or not, it does not make it possible. To have a sustainable business on this farm. Like there's so many reasons why I don't want to do a meat business, but because I'm gonna have to go into all of those headaches, and I don't want to do that. So I don't want to scale that up. That I have to. And if they shut me down in there because I have my meat there, I will either. I mean, I told you earlier, I just don't want to choose one pig and one cow to have to get on a truck and trailer. It's just not fair. Like I'm just not gonna do it. I would actually rather have someone else's meat in my farm store and tell consumers why my meat isn't there. Like, if you want legal meat, it's the neighbor's meat, and it is not as good as mine.
Yeah.
But guess what? We can go down to my barn and look in the freezer down there, and I'll sell you some meat out of the freezer. I don't know. But I'm not sure. I don't want to have to make that decision. I don't think I'll ever grow the meat business enough that I have to say, okay, guys, now you have to get on a truck or trailer. And again, when I explained that to you, that is not the worst thing in the world. That, like, slaughterhouses are, for the most part, are fairly humane and have a good system. That actually got all Temple Grandin's work fixed a lot of that. It's now the farms that's where it's not humane, of like how we house our animals and how we take care of our animals. So
Can you elaborate more on the person you just mentioned?
Temple Grandin. Changed the beef industry. Do you know? Yeah. You've got some homework.
See, there's so many. Every little aspect. There's some people up there that has massive influence. I just realized I've never looked in.
Is it okay?
That's fine. You're fine. That's actually a skunk.
Okay.
But no, I just realized I've never looked into the history of this.
Yeah.
So yes, please.
So, I mean, there's a great movie about Temple's life. I think I'm not going to remember the girl's name because I'm not a movie buff, but it's a great one just to be introduced to the life of Temple Grandin. She has autism, and she's a PhD. She's amazing, but she can see how the cows can see. So she redesigned all of the handling facilities in the U.S., basically. Like, incredible designs.
To just reduce all the stresses? Yep.
So that all got fixed. And she actually has, it might be in my farm store, called Animals Make Us Human. It's really cool because she talks about all the different, like zoo animals, wild animals, livestock type animals. And because she's autistic, she doesn't have those, she can talk more clearly about this stuff without so much of the emotion, which makes it easier to learn from her. But it also, for me, I'm very emotional about some of this stuff, and I'm passionate about what I do. So sometimes I kind of want to be like, but where's that passion, or what is that other thing? And I can't. It's been a long time since I read that book, but the last chapter is amazing because I think it's based on questions. They're asking her questions, and she's answering. And she is the one who basically says that my work in the slaughterhouse is it is humane in a slaughterhouse now. Now the concern is the farm. But she's through her career. She's like, that's not my job. Like, we have to get animals out of a factory. We have to get animals, that's where it's inhumane. And I was like, that was the passion, or that was the compassion. That was the best I could see from her, is that compassion of like, oh, and she's right. And this is so cool because that's how I feel too. Mm-hmm. So, because we feel like it's gory in a slaughterhouse. And for me, it's just volume. That's the only thing. It's just very hard to wrap your head around the volume of what we do in a slaughterhouse, but it actually is very humane and low stress. It's literally, how is that whole life prior to that one day? If that one day is the only day, and really, I feel like my animals, the only stress they're going to have is just actually getting on a truck and trailer and going to a new place. None of that inherently wrong or bad. It's just, I spent their entire life giving them no stress, and I'm like, okay, see ya. And there's also a disconnect for me. Like, it's like, you don't see it. You're not part of it. I want to be reminded, and I want to make a choice every single time an animal dies. Am I still willing to eat meat? This is what happens, and I'll always question that.
Well, it's interesting bringing the whole out of sight, out of mind thing, because it's just so easy. I mean, it's kind of whenever we're talking on the farm stay, how the people during the pandemic versus post, how quickly things just change back. But that just, the same example could happen too, to where you have the out of sight, out of mind, and then quickly you just forget about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why with our food, how quickly, it only took a couple generations. And that,
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I literally can tell you, like, and maybe, well, we sent one beef, and I don't remember why I needed USDA, or maybe I was trying it. And this is not necessarily the right reason to choose, but she was really mean and just hard to handle. And I was like, you know what? I think you get the vote. We need to do this. And I know, like, and it was a disconnect. Mm-hmm. She was gone. And then I got beautiful meat back. And I was like, wait, I missed a whole lot of that. Yeah. And there's days, I mean, not especially, I notice it with the cows more now, because now the herd is ours. So all these calves have been born here. And as time goes on, you develop more of a relationship with the mom or the calf, and it's harder and harder. And it's like, or they start to stand out, and you're like, or my dairy cow, when she has a calf, I'm going to eat it. And it's like, oh, that's going to be really tough. It should be. Mm-hmm. The day it's easy for me is the day I need to quit. It should not be. I don't want it to be easy.
It's interesting, too, on the stress. Because even on the final day, you can take care of it really well. But that final day, that animal is extremely stressed. It jacks up Well, on top of it's just not good for the animal
Yeah.
and its well-being, but in terms of the taste and the
Yeah,
actual nutrient
absolutely.
profile,
Right.
it's crazy how that one last day can
Right.
influence that too.
Absolutely.
And that's again why I always go back to shaking the hand that feeds you, is because there's so much that goes into all of this, and it's so fickle, but at the same time it's not, because you build resiliency, but then there's just little things like that to where it can just change it like that.
Yeah,